the difference is, I think for him, he was having a lot of fun doing television, right? I mean, he's on the road every Thursday, doing different things on SportsCenter with Matt Berry, calling a game, enjoying the fact that he's not going to have to hear about the result after the fact. And then he's in an air-conditioned studio every Friday and Saturday watching ball, and he can't lose. And so I knew it was going to have to take the perfect situation for him to come back. And when I saw it was UNLV, I felt like it was perfect because we're talking about a guy, one, that runs an exciting offense, and I think that fits what he's trying to do. He talked about bringing running Rebels into the gridiron, for one, and two, we're talking about a guy that's learned how to put on a show on television, and he kind of wants to do the same thing on the football field. He wants to have fun. He's having fun out there in Vegas, and it just seems like the perfect fit for a guy that's trying to get back into the game.
And you wrote a lot about the story of them hooking him, which is pretty incredible. I mean, again, to put this in perspective, they've got Dan Mullen 6 years ago, and we like the guy, Tony Sanchez. They had a former high school coach as the head coach of UNLV. I mean, that's kind of where UNLV football was, and now comparatively where it is now 6 years later.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think the big thing, too, that people perhaps overlook is just the fact that now programs like UNLV have a legitimate shot every year at a national championship because of the expanded 12-team playoff, right? Like, that is something that Dan certainly looked at and said, like, okay, because he didn't want to jump into a situation where he was going to have to rebuild, something that wasn't already there in place. Like, he talks about how, the facilities are nice. They are. I've been out there. I've seen it. And then just, again, the opportunity to play for a championship. And when you have a guy like that, who I can tell you from doing it 14 times a season the last 2 years, that is somebody that so many guys in the coaching industry revere. Like, there were a couple of instances where it felt like watching a kid meet Santa Claus for the first time. Some of these young coordinators getting to meet Dan Mullen. I swear to God, it was just like that. And so, like, for UNLV to have a guy like that, I mean, given the new transfer portal world of college football, what we can do now with revenue sharing after the House settlement, there will still be NIL and collectives, I think, in some places, not all. He has an opportunity to really make winning the norm there now.
All right, Lyles Jr. is with us. Go check out his story, ESPN.com, on Dan Mullen and UNLV football. Well, let's build on what you said about rev sharing, because these are scary times for the group of five schools. You cover a lot of college football. You do sidelines. You know the group of five pretty well. Not only UNLV, but just talking to people around this level. How are they going to deal with this? How do you kind of keep up with the Joneses without bankrupting the school?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because obviously the cap number is there for, and it's easier for the group of fives to do this. And then obviously I think the big key here, both for the G5 and the Power 4 teams, is going to be who is going to not immediately take away their collective money. I think that is the absolute biggest difference, because a lot of schools, even coming into 2024 or last season, we're still pondering, hey, do we want to play this new game where we basically just put our wallet on the table and say, let's go win football games? The fact that is sort of still going on still leaves some gray area here. And I think that's one thing that could possibly work to UNLV's advantage, especially with Coach Mullen, is you've got a guy who what you're getting out of him, both from obviously a personality perspective, but also a product on the football field. I mean, he has been the mastermind of some of the best offenses that we have ever seen. And so I think for UNLV, that helps because it's easier to then go to boosters and say, hey, like, yes, we've got X amount of dollars. If we throw X amount more,